All right, business owners, entrepreneurs, action takers, thank you so much again for joining me on this special episode of the Broker Insider. On this segment of the show, well, in the show in general, we like to talk about business financing, the ins and outs, kind of get information over to people so that way they are best prepared in order to apply for financing or go down that rabbit hole. You are as armed with information as much as possible. Occasionally, I do like to have these one-off episodes where we talk to people that have not only successfully funded with us here at BDA Solutions, but in general have a great understanding of business and are geared towards success. And so this episode, just like the previous other ones, is labeled Conversations with Winners. And today I am very proud to announce Zach, who is the owner of Someday Shine Auto Detailing. Zach, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, man. How are you doing today?
I'm great. It's a nice day here. I'm out here in Colorado. We've got some nice weather going on today, so I'm doing great.
Very cool, very cool. Well, in order to get us started, let's start with you, man. What can you tell us about your auto detail shop? Like what inspired you to get in? Why auto detailing? Why this business?
Yeah, so this is actually kind of a good story, but it all came from COVID. Uh, During COVID, everybody was kind of just shut down and stuck at home. My
Right.
business partner Taylor, he got kind of sent home for quarantine for a couple weeks because somebody at his work had COVID. So he got stuck at home. He was kind of cleaning the house, cleaning everything, and he ended up cleaning our cars. And so he really enjoyed that. And then I have a background in marketing and design. I've been doing that for about 20 years. So kind of anytime we have a business idea, um, I make it come to life for us. And he's got a background in automotive and body shop work, stuff like that. He's been a body shop manager for semi trucks and stuff like that. So he's got the experience with cars. I've got the experience with business and marketing, that kind of side of things. So it's a good partnership. And that's kind of where that came together. And both of us were doing it part time after our full time jobs at night. And then we were doing it on the weekends for the first few years. That was going really well. Last year, we ended up getting really busy. We were doing it out of our house for a while. Our neighbors kind of shut that down. They said, "Listen, you guys are too many cars around
You guys
here."
are making too much of a racket over there.
Yeah, so they tried to report us to the HOA. That didn't work out for them because we actually detail for the HOA. So the HOA was like, "Well, we don't care." Um,
Nice.
but they reported up to the county. So the county kind of shut us down. So they made us go mobile. So we've been doing mobile detailing for almost a year now, which actually kind of turned out to be a blessing in disguise as we got a lot busier from being mobile, kind of just giving people the convenience of we just come right to you. You don't even have to leave your house. Makes that nice and easy for them. And then we were able to hire a team of detailers last August. I left my full time job, went full time with the business, kind of just went all for broke here. And it's been a crazy journey, especially going into the winter. I mean, detailing's tough in the winter. It's kind of more of a summer business, but we were able to survive the winter, stay busy. We offered some discounts and stuff like that to stay busy in the winter. But yeah, it's worked out really well. We have a team of three detailers right now. We're looking to grow that this summer as we get even more busy. So we'll probably be doubling in size, hopefully team wise this summer, and really just kind of growing as much as we possibly can.
Very cool. So you're talking plans already, like we're gonna add more to the workforce. We're going to start to put together a scaling plan for the business.
Correct. Yep.
So what sets you apart from other detail shops in your area? Like what services are you able to offer that's different from anyone else and really allow you to afford that scaling?
Yeah. So what we do, a lot of other detailers in our area, kind of throughout the country that we've really kind of looked into, is most detailers charge you like a base price, and then they'll add, okay, you have a third row, this is additional. If you have dog hair, that's additional. Then there's just like additional charges depending on the condition of your vehicle.
Mhm.
For us, it's just one flat price no matter what. So sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Sometimes it's a really bad car, and we were there longer than expected. But on average, we were there usually about 4 hours. So it kind of works out really well. So we have just a set price. We charge $289 for a full detail, $189 for an interior only. And it works out really well for the customers because they just know, okay, this is the price I'm going to pay. Nothing's going to get added on. Because some people we've heard stories from customers where they're like, okay, this is the price I was told. Then by the time they were done, they're like, okay, this was $200 or $300 more than what they were
Just
originally.
doubled.
Yep.
Right.
So I'm like, that's just not how we treat our customers. We want to just make it nice and easy for the customer. And then our booking platform is really easy. They can book online, they can pay online. We also, all of our team members have tap cards, so they can just take payments right there from the customer with a credit card. So we make payment really easy. We make booking really easy. We just try to make everything as easy as possible for the customer, just convenient. And then we always just make sure they're not paying until they're happy with the job too. So we're not looking for to just get their money and never talk to them again. So we follow up with the customer once our team leaves. They do a final inspection with the customer before they pay, and then I follow up with the customer after the team's left and say, "Hey, how was the team member today? Was there any concerns?" And I also follow up, ask for reviews, stuff like that, just kind of grow our Google precedence and stuff like that.
Wow. So how mobile are you guys? Like, holy shit, dude. Can you guys make your way out to Indiana and get
Right.
my
Well,
cars done?
we're we're growing as we get there, so we'll see. I mean, we would love to be national, to be honest. We're trying to get as big as possible. My team or my business partner Taylor, he's got all the 5, 10 year plans in his mind. He's always like, "Oh, we could have this, this, and this." I'm like, "Well, let's worry about next week first before we get before we get there."
Very cool, very cool. Well, I have the luxury of following you online. So I've seen some of your work and it's nice, man. I hats off, dude. Some of that detail is like I'm big on my cars and I love to keep them clean. I check for all the little details. The pictures that you share online are impressive. Is there any success story or maybe even like a memorable customer experience that can showcase the quality of service that your shop provides?
Yeah, I would actually even say just our first customer that we ever had. They were kind of in our Todd Creek area, which is where we live, um, but they've turned into just like a lifelong partnership of things we do with them. So they're actually a real estate agent, and then there's the wife, and then the husband is he owns a cigar lounge. So we've kind of gone from just going over there doing detail work for them once, and then we now host a car show with them. We host a car parade that we just did yesterday. So from our detailing work and like the quality we give there, it actually turns into partnerships and more than just detailing.
Very
Because
nice.
they I mean, they have just all the different connections within the car world. So we kind of really help grow us. They've helped us grow just from their connections and the quality that we were quality work we gave them is kind of transferred over to all their friends and family, and it's been just a great partnership with them.
Very cool, very cool. And I mean, we all know, in order for you to scale, there's that ugly component of having to raise capital and overcome that challenge as a small business. So can you give us a little bit? I mean, I don't know how in detail do you want to go, but kind of summarize your previous experiences attempting to raise capital for your auto detail shop.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it is hard to grow because financing places are looking at your previous 4 months. They're not looking at your next 4 months.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, with us, especially, I just started working with you last month, and last 4 months, those were the winter. That's the slowest months we have. Those are probably the 4 slowest months we'll ever have again, hopefully. Um, the next 4 months, there should be double, triple that. So that's what's kind of hard because you're trying to get financing for those months, and people are looking at your previous 4 months. So that's kind of a struggle there. And then the other thing is people are looking at your personal credit. They're not looking at what your business is doing.
Right,
So you
right.
got to make sure your personal credit is kind of in check. Make sure that, and that's kind of a cool thing that you have going is you have your program that helps with people's credit. So we're excited to kind of get into that, help build our credit up. So when we're ready for our next round of financing, we can really do some great stuff.
Awesome, awesome. But yeah, that's kind of my entire goal. And it's with just about every client that we come in contact with. Yes, we absolutely try to get them as much funding depending on, their mitigating circumstances is what's going to determine the type of funding that they get. But I don't like to just fund and forget, which is really what a lot of the unfortunately the culture in the industry in general is fund and forget. I like to influence and grow. And that's why working with a small business like yours, we overcome some of those obstacles together. And I reinvest back into you. You hopefully, come back to us and say, hey, you know what, Jose, it's been 3 months. Let's get after another tranche of funding. And it makes our lives easier for both of us. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because now the doors are open to other products because your credit is in a completely different standing. So I appreciate that. Now, outside of outside of those obstacles, have you had a bad experience with the types of funding that you have been offered in the
I would
past?
say, yeah, it's more of the personal connection you make with the brokers and these companies is when I talk to you, it's like just talking to another human. When you're talking to some of these other people, they are so aggressive and just trying to just get whatever they can out of you right away. They're like, okay, what do we have to do today to make this happen? And it's just, I don't know, aggressive tactics, and I don't appreciate
Mhm.
that. And it, like you said, they're kind of just they're trying to fund today. They don't care what happens to you tomorrow.
Right, right.
With you, it's you can hear the way you talk, the way you kind of just care that you're looking to help us achieve our goals, and we can kind of help you achieve your goals back. However, we can do whatever we can do to help you as well, and that's kind of just a partnership that we're looking for in terms of financing and funding.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. And so there's one thing, like, so I've used your case study as a reference point with conversations that I've had with other brokers that I work with, and I try to mentor and kind of help them shape their mentality to be more in line with client first as opposed to funding first, right? And if you don't, without going into too much personal detail, I know for a fact that you had in your inbox an offer, a contract for funding that was higher than what I was able to provide for you at that time, right?
Mhm.
And you didn't take it. So I've mentioned that to some of these other brokers, and for sure they were all like, "Oh, you're full of crap. There's absolutely no way that that happens. Like, this is not the space where that happens." Can you kind of get into that specific scenario and kind of explain why you decided to forego at that time what was more money to work with us instead?
Yeah, so that one, a lot of it was I was more just annoyed by their process. Was they couldn't couldn't get our emails right. They couldn't get just details right when they were trying to set up the loan, and then they were trying to verify stuff, and it wasn't working. And so that was just getting really frustrating. The guy just wouldn't stop calling me, and he's like, "Hey, this needs to be done." Da, 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 da. Like, and you can tell he was just trying to get the deal done for himself that day. He and again, it was never like when I started with you, we kind of had like a planning call, kind of talk about okay, what are we looking to accomplish as a business, and then you started working on okay, let's see what kind of offers we can get you. But it was never just okay, here's what we can offer you right away. It was what are your guys' plans, and that's what I really appreciated. And then yeah, I just like the way you really went to bat for us with some of these places. And there was the one people they kind of said we're not going to fund you after they had already said they were going to fund us.
Right.
Then they changed their mind, and you were like, okay, that's not. And then we found out they were trying to just steal the deal without you. Yeah, that was a whole scenario, and I actually ended up working out really well because I think the funding you ended up getting us ended up matching that original offer.
Exactly. Right.
in the long run, it worked out really well. And so that was kind of just that whole story.
Well, yeah. Hey, man. First and foremost, thank you. I really do appreciate at least the opportunity to earn your business. You know what I mean? Because I don't take that lightly. I don't take that for granted. I know there's a bunch of competition. I know you also have your own personal, deadlines and quotas that you need to meet. You need the capital in order to get that done. And so I really do wholeheartedly appreciate the patience on your end to allow me the time to kind of go back, arm what I could, and get, really kick down the door, guns ablazing, saying, hey, all right, this is what has to happen because I've already seen this take place. So thank you. I appreciate that. And kind of last question. So, like, in hindsight, right, is there any advice that you would give to other small business owners in general that are looking to seek financing for their ventures? Is there anything that you would advise that they do maybe before they seriously start needing to have that working capital in their bank accounts?
Yeah, I would say kind of start with your personal credit. I mean, I'd start there because that's what these people are looking at.
Mhm.
So definitely start working on your personal credit as soon as possible. Get that kind of in shape, and then yeah, make a plan for what you're going to do for the financing. Because if you're just trying to get money just to get money, and then you're not going to, I don't know, make it as useful as what it could be. Um, and then I don't know if I have any great advice for that because I'm still working on trying to learn it all myself. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely
that's
a process, but yeah, it's definitely a process. It's not a, and this is another part of the my personal issues with the industry that I'm in is that they paint it to be a cookie cutter approach, and it's really not. It really depends on what industry you're in. It depends on, how long you've been in business, what your revenue is, what your personal credit score is. Even if you have a brick and mortar, we came across that situation ourselves. You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
So all of these different factors are going to determine who, how much, and when you're going to be able to get funding. And I guess one of the main things that I avoid at all costs doing is to paint the picture of you getting, or me offering, a almost like a unicorn type deal. And then when I come back to you and say, okay, Zach, here it is, it's a donkey. Like, that's not what I
Yeah,
want to do. And
right.
and
And that's what you get in all your emails and text messages from these people. They're like, "All right, we're gonna get you $300,000 approved," and I'm like, "Okay, what?" And then they come back and they're like, "All right, here's $3,000," and you're like, "That's what?"
yeah, exactly,
I don't know
exactly.
what this said. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, hey man, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time. I know you've got a business to run, so we'll let you have at it, and get back to becoming the best auto detailer in the Denver area. So, folks, if you guys are watching this, if you happen to be in and around the Denver, Colorado area, look up Zach. Zach, is there a Instagram social media handles you'd like to shout out?
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, they're both at Someday Detailing. Website somedayshine.com. If you have any emails, just info@somedayshine.com. Phone number 720-940-0252. Reach out to us however you'd like. We're always here to answer calls. I have a newborn baby here, so I'm up at all times in the day anyways, so always available.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm going to include your social media, your contact information down in the link below. So that way, in case people come across, they can just click on those links, get in touch with you. Trust me, people, you will not regret getting in touch with Zach. He's going to take very good care of you. And again, thank you, everyone else. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you guys are in need of business financing, even just want to get an idea of what is really available to you, please reach out to me. Absolutely no cost. I will do everything I can to kind of take a look at where you're at, paint a picture as to what it's going to take to get to where you want to be. And then if we're lucky enough to earn your business like we did with Zach, be more than happy to serve you the best way I can. So again, folks, thank you so much. Again, Zach, appreciate you, man. We will be in touch. We'll be working together for the next few months, and we'll make this thing happen for you.
Thanks so much, Jose. Yeah, reach out to Jose for funding wise. I mean, this was a great experience for us, so I would highly recommend Jose back to anybody who's watching this as well.
Man, I appreciate that, man. All right, bro. Talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
Hey, have a great day.
You too.